Okay, everybody. This week we're going to be talking about spirituality. Every time somebody comes into my office, they always give me the same question. What is my purpose in life? Where do I go from here? After all this crap that happened to me, why did God leave me? Why did the Creator leave me? Is there even a God? Those are the normal questions that come up. And it's a very hard question to answer because it's so intangible. It's not something that I can say, well, based on scientific evidence, this is what was found. Because of the vast amount of baby boomers that are now moving into the next series of life, yes, there's a huge amount of studies that's being conducted right now in regards to the next journey of life. So yes, there's a bunch of scientific research that's being done to see if there is truly another part of this journey once we leave this plane. Interestingly enough, yes, they're finding that there is scientific proof that there is actually something on the other side. Interesting, right? So, based on that premise, it doesn't change the fact that there's tons of different religions out there. There's tons of different spiritual beliefs out there. And it doesn't preclude the fact that shit happens in the world, right? I mean, I cannot change the fact that people get murdered every day. I can't change the fact that people get raped every day. And I can't change the fact that shit happens in everybody's lives every day. And so people still come into the office and still say, Mel, why the hell did this shit happen to me? Why did God forsake me? Why did Buddha forsake me? Why did this shit happen? And so the question still remains, when stuff gets rough, can one person take on the world's ills? And the question is no. Of course not. You cannot take on the world's ills because if you think about it, when things gets really bad in your life, we all can only take so much. Like our mind can only take so much before we finally make the decision, or our mind makes a decision for us where, okay, enough is enough, and we check out. Whether the checking out is we go down to our local bar and we sit in front there and we get ourselves plastered, or we find a joint and we smoke, or we take a grip of pills, or we find our freezer and we eat the whole gallon of ice cream, or we go online and we shop, and then a couple hours later we realize like, wow, we just totally wasted 6 hours, or we sit in front of a slot machine and we escape from reality. We all can only take so much before we have to stop the world for a little bit, and there's a reason for that, because we only can take so much crap. We only can take so much stress. We only can take so much depression. We only can take so much angst and anxiety. And so once again, rewind, the question still remains, what do I do then when stuff gets too much? What do I do? What happens? What should I do to try and change this? Because I can't do this anymore. I can't drink another drink anymore. I can't take one more freaking pill anymore. I can't do this whatever anymore. I can't eat another gallon of ice cream anymore. It's gonna freaking kill me. I'm over it. I'm done. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, so to speak. And so I always hear the question of, when do I finally get tired of this? When do I finally stop doing this behavior or whatever? And it's different for everybody. They always talk about, well, everybody has a rock bottom. And it was interesting because when I ran a group one day, there was this old timer that came in and finally, after 20 years of being clean and sober, had fell off the wagon. And he made an interesting comment to all the newcomers and said, you know what? For every bottom, there's a trapdoor. And I agree, because that's true. For every bottom, there is a trapdoor. Because who's to say, because you finally lost your family, that and you finally get sober, that's another shit that's going to happen down the road, that not going to be your trap door, where you have another DUI, and that'll be your trap door. You know, like that'll be a rock bottom. And then all of a sudden you get back on the wagon and you finally get it together, and something else happened, and then that's not your trapdoor. You know, like that's your rock bottom. Then there's a trapdoor beyond that. You know, there will always be something that will happen. There will always be another thing that will occur, where that will always, you will think, well, that's my rock bottom. Hell no, there will always be something else that will happen in your life that will end up opening that bottom, and a trapdoor will occur, and that will be your bottom, and you will fall through that rabbit hole, and that'll be another trapdoor there. So I don't believe that there's always just one thing. Sorry. So I agree, there's always something else. And so don't ever ever believe that that will always just be your bottom. There's always a trapdoor to every bottom for everybody's crap. And so you always have to believe that you always have to be working on your stuff, and you always have to think that your best thinking got you in that chair. So you can't do this shit alone either. You know, so whether you finally come to a point that, whether it's some kind of higher power, whether it's a doorknob on that door, or it's Buddha or God or the creator, or, you know, Akua or Tagashla, whatever it is, you know, whatever it is for you, you need to figure that out. And yes, shit happens in life, and is it because that God or that creator forsake you, or is it because you walked away from that higher power? You know, that's something that you would have to come to terms with, and think about, and make that decision. And it's a very hard decision to come across and to figure out. And so one of the things that when people come in here and we talk about this stuff, and yes, we talk about this crap all the time in recovery, and recovery meaning not just from addictive behaviors, but even in anxiety and mental health issues, depression, borderline issues, bipolar stuff, mental health in general. You know, we all go through this. Everybody goes through this shit. Everybody questions their belief systems at some point in their life. Everybody does. And so one of the things we work on is that maybe I do need to figure out what my purpose is in life, and what does spirituality mean for me, because what it was for me when I was a kid and what it means to me now is two different things. And maybe it means that what you believed when you were younger and what you grew up in as a Christian or a Catholic faith growing up, maybe taking some of that, and maybe then taking some of the nature belief systems and putting that two together is what you believe in now, then do that. There's no such thing as having one specific thing. Maybe it's a accumulation of a couple of things that makes what spirituality is to you today. You know, and so when I talk to people, you know, some of the things we work on is finding something bigger than yourself every single day, even if it means that you go outside and you go out in nature and you look for something bigger than yourself. Like, say you feel the wind and you figure out what it feels like to you when it hits your skin, when you walk up to that flower and you look at it and go like, how the hell did that flower even come to be, and how is it even blooming? You know, that's something to look at. You know, when you're hiking, get out there and hike in nature and see like, wow, that bird, how did that even come to pass? You know, how is that thing even flying? You know, those are things that you want to look at. So those are just some of the things that you can do to start working on your spirituality. Something as simple as that. Do it every day, 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes? I mean, come on, out of 24 hours. Simple, right? So that's something you can work on for this week. Just take 5 minutes. 5 minutes of your life out of 24 hours. 5 minutes. So that's a blog for the week. Spirituality. This is just part 1. Next week's blog, we're going to talk a little bit more about spirituality, and we're going to include journaling. Everybody hates journaling, but it's very important. And I have a very specific journaling activity that I tell people to work on. It's not the normal type of journaling because I don't like journaling myself. So why would I make my patients do it? But I formulated a specific type of journaling activity that everybody can do. Very simple. It takes you literally 10 minutes a day. Everybody can do it. So until next week, like how I always tell everybody, be well, be safe, be an advocate for yourself because you are your only advocate, everybody. All right, until next week, aloha.